Bitcoin is about to do something for the first time since the 2018 crash. This is getting serious. You better pay attention. If you're new here, my name is Steve. I'm going to help you get one step closer to your financial freedom. Hit that subscribe button right now. Throw a like on this. Let's jump straight into the charts. What you'll find a lot of times is folks will show you the 4-hour chart, they'll show you the 1-day chart, maybe the 1 week. But when you take a couple steps back and you look at the monthly chart, which we're going to look at right now, you start to see things that a lot of other people don't see. You'll find that there's something coming up, and it's happened in each market cycle we've had, and it usually happens at a time when there's a lot of indecision. Right now, there's a lot of people that are really bullish. You know, they're looking at 100K, they're looking at NFTs, they're looking at altcoins, and they're just waiting for that moment that it's going to explode again. But on the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of people that are bearish. They can't wait for below 30K, 20K. They're even shouting 5K, 10K. Who knows what they're shouting, but they're just hoping for prices to go down. And right now we're at a market standstill. So we look at the monthly chart to see bigger momentum shifts, larger moves that people are not looking at. And what we found is pretty interesting. Let's start with the 2018, because this is really the first time since 2018 that we're showing these signs. What we have down below is the MACD. We've got the MACD on the monthly, and what we've got above is price action. Back in 2017, 2016, 2017, it was the glory days. Altcoins were exploding, Bitcoin was exploding, Ethereum was exploding, everything was just exploding. There was a lot of euphoria in the market, and then we took a turn, right? We took a turn and we started going down. But when we started going down in price, during these months, everyone was still bullish. There was not many people that were bearish at the time. The high majority was still bullish. And you can go watch all of our videos that we made during this time period, just warning people that don't be too bullish, right? You want to be even keel, you want to look at both sides, but the market was showing some signs, right? And then we started getting into these months and everyone was still very bullish. They were still saying, you know what? We have fallen from 20K and yeah, maybe we're at 7K, but we're about to go back above 20K. And that's what kind of the pulse of the market was. And there was some people that were still really bullish. There was people that were still really bearish, but there was high majority of people were bullish. And then we had this MACD cross on the monthly, which by the way, it doesn't happen very often. And if you scroll through the 10-year history of Bitcoin, yeah, we've only had 3, and that's a fact. We had one in 2014, we had one in 2018, and we had one in 2019. The one in 2019 is a bit different. We'll get to that in a little bit later. There's not many. These are just the facts. And if you're new to our channel, you probably just hit that subscribe button because we only talk about the facts. We're not talking about what we hope will happen or fingers crossed or coin flip, just the facts. Plain and simple so that you have more knowledge when you leave this video. So the facts are the facts, right? In this month, right, we were getting ready for this MACD cross. Now, the MACD is the moving average convergence divergence. And basically it tells us the trend, the strength of the trend, and the momentum that's happening. We want to look for momentum. So we saw that we had this price top at 20K. We came down, we had a beautiful correction. Everyone thought we were going back to the moon, but we look at this MACD cross and we said, hey, there's actually the second wave drop is coming, and it's a big one. And it happened to be 50%. So that's what you see playing out here. And that 50% drop all the way down to the lower 3000s, right? So that MACD was our big warning, like, hey, there's still a lot of people that are bullish, there's a lot of people that are bearish, but this was our warning sign that, hey, that drop that we saw from 20K, there's still a lot more drop to come. That second wave drop was coming. And if we go back and we look at 2014, and by the way, we're gonna show you what's happening present day here in a moment, but we've got to get our bearings. We have to understand what this is really showing, because again, back here in 2013, 2014, even into this time period here, you can see the market was incredibly bullish. We started to correct down, and people were still incredibly bullish. We saw this pretty big bounce here, but it was a failed rally. It failed to get above this high here. And then we rolled over. And as we rolled over, people were still screaming that we're bullish. Price is about to go up. This is it. We're about to go back and make another new all-time high. But we had this MACD cross. This was the first one in Bitcoin's history, right? This is 2014. We had a 63% drop after this. So it told us like, look, we had this first big wave of drop, but the second big wave is here. And the second big wave came after this MACD cross. You know, we went from prices of about 600, 550 all the way down here to about 168. So that MACD cross told us, look, that bigger momentum shift, the bigger move is here. Look at the monthly chart. Try to stay level-headed. We've only had 3 of them in history. We covered the 2014, we covered the 2018. The 2019 is not similar to the previous 2, meaning we were only above in the MACD for just slightly. Again, we're bullish when the blue is on top. We're bearish when the red is on top, or the orange. Simply put, if you're a bull, you want the blue on top. It's that simple. But this move was really short. Okay, you can see that this MACD move, it was really a long period that this was on top. The blue was on top. It was actually about 900 days. Okay, and similarly back here in 2014, and you can see what is present day. It's not a short time period of the blue on top like it was back here in 2019. 2019, we had this cross coming up here. It was bullish, and then we went to bearish real quick. We had this bearish cross, and then you can see we actually had a 50% drop even still. But this move that we're in now is really comparable to the 2014 and 2018 for the amount of time that the blue line has been on top, meaning we've been bullish for such a long time, and we're getting close to this cross, which we've only seen in 3 times in history. Now, let's make sense of it. Let's talk about what do we actually think is going to happen. What should you be doing right now? What should you be watching right now? And we've got to remain level-headed. Is this 100% certain that we're going to have this cross? No, we're pretty damn close, but it's not certain. It's not 100% certain. What we could do to avoid this, we'll talk about in a moment. But the facts are the facts. We're getting close to having this cross. It's the closest we've been in years, all right? So this is something that not a lot of people will talk about, but again, let's look at some facts. Let's look at some things that are happening. During these time periods when we had these crosses, there was a lot of people that were still bullish, okay? There was less people that are bearish. And how do you know that? Go back and look at any Twitter polls from this month here. Go back right now and look at any Twitter polls from this month in January and see what the Twitter polls are saying. The majority of people are bullish, and that's a fact. It's just a fact. What could happen is if Bitcoin were to hold this 40K level, which we're going to make some videos later this week to talk about the highly important level of 40K, and you can even see it in the market structure right in front of you. You can see that this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, and these 2 candles, all these monthly candles play with this $40,000 level. It's the most important level. If we were to break that, I feel that it would add months and months of a little bit of some turmoil in the market, which is fine. It's just an ebb and flow of the market. But if we were to hold that, we do have some potential to bounce higher. Okay, so 40K is the key. Pay attention on the monthly chart to this MACD. Pay attention to the market structure. Those are the 2 things I want you to pay attention to on the big picture scale. But again, remain level-headed in the fact that we could have a 50% drop after this MACD crosses, right? A 50% drop from here would put you at about 20K, 21, 22K, depending on where we have the 50% correction from. So we have to remain level-headed that is a possibility. It would be abnormal in the fact that we've never had a correction in Bitcoin where it dropped all the way down to the previous market cycle high. We've never had that. That would be literally the first, okay? But Bitcoin is known to have some tricks up its sleeve. It's known to do the opposite of what a lot of people think, so we have to remain level-headed. I wanted to bring this video to your attention because nobody else is talking about it. It's a pretty big deal. It's only happened 3 times in history. It's almost getting ready to be the fourth, and I need you to have the facts and the charts. You can feel free to follow us on the Twitters at Crypto Crew U. You can see our link right here, Crypto Crew U. Go ahead and follow us on the Twitters. And if you want to learn when to sell, what I highly recommend is you watch this video, because you may be thinking, you know what, I'm going to sell now, because if we have this MACD cross, it's a 50% correction and I can buy back when it goes lower. You got to watch this video, when to sell, 3 simple steps. I'll link it down below. Take a look, watch this video. It'll help you remain level-headed. And by the way, it's free. Also, last but not least, you can go to our website and you can get the 7-day trial to our indicators. Try them out. You will absolutely love them. It'll help you remain level-headed. It'll help you make better decisions for you to get closer to your financial freedom. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Shout out to all the OGs that have been following for a long time. We're in our new house, moved in completely to the new house, so thank you for your support. I also want to shed some light for Tonga. If you guys have seen in the news, Tonga is never in the international news. They just had a tsunami and it was pretty devastating. It actually broke all the underwater cords to their internet, so they don't really have connectivity to the world right now. I personally have been to Tonga. I didn't go for like 1 or 2 days. First of all, Tonga is one of the least visited countries on planet Earth. That's a fact. It's usually in the top 10 least visited countries. I didn't go for like a day or two. I went for 5 weeks. And one of my concerns is seeing the news is a lot of Tongan people, and if you're watching and you're from Tonga or you've been to Tonga, they drink rainwater. And I drank rainwater when I was there for 5 weeks. I didn't get sick. I'm fine. But what happens after a tsunami, the volcano, there's a lot of ash in the air. There's going to be acid rain. So I'm concerned with their safety. So my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who knows people in Tonga or is from Tonga or is family in Tonga, or whatever the case may be. I hope everybody is well, and I'll see you right back here on the next video. Peace and love to the fellow